And we started.
Hello everyone and welcome to a new podcast approaches episode. I'm AntKeepsGaming and let me introduce my next podcast bro.
Hello you wonderful people. Hope you're having a golden day. I'm the true star of the show. The star had started a while ago though. F in the chat. It's me, Wonderful Golden Star, here introducing the fellow podcast bro.
Hey, it's SpaceKing again. Unfortunately, we don't have CNJ today, but we do have a great guest, and today I'm not as sick, so I won't be coughing and hacking as much during the podcast like I was last week. Sorry about for all of that, but I will be introducing. Why don't you introduce yourself? Because I barely know you. I'm sorry.
Oh, sounds great. It's more fun that way. I'm Inkthinks. I've been running, or I guess I'm Ink. I've been running the Inkthinks channel for a few years, but really picking it up recently since August.
Hey, well, welcome to the podcast. I'm very excited for you to join because, as we was talking about just before the podcast, I've been subscribed to you since 1,000 subscribers. And I wish CNJ was here because I know he watches you too. And it's just to see you grow so quickly is just amazing. And then that's one of the reasons why I want to get you on here. One, to talk about obviously Smash and speculation as we do on here every week, but also to congratulate you how quickly you have grown on YouTube. It's just amazing. So
thank you so much. That means a lot, especially that you guys watch. That's it still blows my mind, but thank you so much.
So guys, if you haven't checked out Inkthinks, the fastest growing even YouTuber at the moment, I suggest check him out in the description right now. So go subscribe to Inkthinks. Honestly guys, his videos are well laid out. I like a lot of these videos. I think the one was the Little Z, the recent one you've done. Not just saying it because it's the new one. If you guys don't know, I watch Little Z as well, and just all your videos are really well put together, and I do enjoy watching them. So I'm like, oh, Inkthink's done a new video, so oh, that's cool. Let me click on that. So,
thank you so much.
And thank you for giving the podcast a chance. So thank you taking time out your busy schedule to be here. And I can't wait to talk about like Smash speculation with you and stuff. Yeah, I just can't wait. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So before we start, I just want to plug one thing. I don't know if Space and WAH have got it as well, got anything to plug, but if you guys don't know, I've actually got a new YouTube channel, same name, starting fresh. I feel like I need to concentrate on one bit of content instead of like multiple different content. So guys, if you haven't subscribed to my new channel, AntKeepsGaming, new link is in the description, so make sure you guys go there. WAH, Space, have you got anything to plug?
Well, I have my meme account on Twitter. I run the Golden Sun shit posts meme account, which is actually the second biggest Golden Sun themed Twitter account, sadly. Hopefully the community will continue to grow. It has been, though. We had a wonderful speed run featured on Games Done Quick this past week. Beyond that, I also have my Twitch account, which is just SpaceKing Scott, and I stream there once in a while. I might stream this evening, actually, because it's been a little while. I haven't been able to because I've been sick. Beyond that, I think, the guys got something to plug.
I'll plug this. Don't believe fan rules. It doesn't make you
Yes.
Oh, you sound like me.
I need to give a big shout out to WAH. WAH doesn't give himself enough credit. He is the biggest. Aren't you? You are the biggest Waluigi for Smash account now on Twitter, aren't you?
Oh yeah, broken 1,000.
Yeah, he's broken 1,000.
I went from like 900 to 1,000 in less than a month.
And that is just crazy. So
That's
congratulations
so cool.
to WAH. He's the main, and not only that, but CNJ, who's not here, he's taking a 2 weeks break. So hopefully CNJ, you'll be back with us soon. CNJ has got an Epic Mickey for Smash account on Twitter. He's now no one else has done that. But he's got like 500, I might be wrong, 400, 500 followers on there, which is awesome. I've got a character, Inkthinks is going to probably thinking, who is this character I'm going to mention? Marina for Smash, not the Octoling. I've recently become the main for Marina Smash account, which is amazing as well. We've kind of like hit our goals, but we're still growing by day, and it's just amazing. So thank you guys so much. So Ink, I need to tell you about Marina Light years later, probably. I won't say it now because people already know her, and by this time I'm just sick of her. So...
I'm sorry, I forgot who Marina Light is again.
Marina Light is from a game
the
called
Splatoon character. Oh yeah, the Splatoon character.
Or what people say, a female Mega Man.
Right.
True.
Just looking over this guy's channel right now. He's got some good things.
Who's that? Inkthink?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
thank
why
you
you should
so much.
That's why you should subscribe, honestly. I'm not
Yeah.
just saying it. Literally, I like
Assist trophy upgrade video. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he talks about
I
Waluigi
said
a lot. That's basically the only qualification you need to be awesome.
See, this is why we want to subscribe to you, because one, you've got tons of Waluigi for WAH. You've got lots of like speculative. You've got even Master Chief, who I like. You have got like well put together thumbnails and stuff, and you've got stuff with assist trophies, which is SpaceKing. So you've got like a lot of things that we all like on this.
I didn't even remember I already made that assist trophy video. I have it on my list right now. Like, oh, I should make this. Like the last few months are a blur. That's great. I'm glad you guys like that.
No, it's really good. I said, like, I think the favorite is Little Z. I really want to get him on the podcast. Another actually YouTuber I want to get on the podcast, Little Z and Choctopus. So it would be great to get on. We're going to try and get bigger YouTubers if we can, like Alfred, Aaron Itmar. If we ever get there, we don't know yet. But we just have to
so hard to know.
Yeah, well, the thing is, as we were talking about, like reaching out to people who would actually come on and who won't. So I don't know, but we'll see what happens. So anyway, Inkthink, welcome to the podcast. So I want to just go over, well, just introduce yourself, your Inkthink and stuff like this, but also like what made you want to start YouTube, what made you start the channel, what made you want to do the content you want to do. So go ahead, the floor is yours.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much. So yeah, like I said, my name is Ink. I run the channel Inkthink. I think I started it 2018, posting kind of sporadically, getting a really small following. I had always wanted to do some sort of video creation at some point in my life. I've been doing like home videos with my siblings and stuff like that since I was real young. But I hadn't thought of doing a Smash Bros YouTube account for a good while. In college, I studied business, and one of the required readings was a book called Crush It by Gary Vaynerchuk. It's a great book, and it's all about establishing a social media presence. And one of the things he says is just figure out what you can do better than anyone else, like what you think you could talk about in a way that no one else is going to, and start posting content around that. And if you do good stuff, eventually people will find it. So then I spent a few days trying to think, oh crap, well, what do I do that other people don't, or what do I do in a way that other people don't? There were a few things I was thinking about, but I ended up settling on Smash Bros. I was actually competing competitively in Melee at the time at college. And the tag I went by was Ink. My last name has pen in it. So it went from pen to ink to Inkthink. And that's kind of the origin of the channel. My very first video was a very low quality Waluigi video. First time ever using Premiere, first time doing anything like that. But yeah, ever since then, I posted a few videos. During that time, I got married and had a kid. And so I took a pretty long hiatus from YouTube, but just started coming back in a dedicated way around August.
Thank God, someone else who is married and has got a kid. I've got something to relate to someone, finally.
Oh, great.
Finally, I'm not alone.
Yeah, part of the reason my brain is all over the place is I'm always tired.
I know what you feel like. I've literally just come back from I think you said SpaceKing like 2 months away from the podcast. So this is my second week back because I've only just recently had a kid. So gotcha. I know the trouble you're going through, because every time we get a guest on, I said, this is no offense to anyone, they're quite young, and the guys here are quite young. So when I say, oh yeah, I've got kids and I'm married and stuff, and they're like, oh okay, boomer and stuff like that. Oh, thanks.
Right. I mean,
so yeah, but thank God I got someone I guess in the same age, hopefully.
I'm 23.
You're 23. Yeah. No,
I got married young. Yeah, I got married young, had a kid young, but I love it.
And
nearly 10 years difference from us.
Poor Ant almost felt like he could relate to someone.
Hey, I can still relate. Doesn't age is just a number.
Just plus having a kid ages you by I think 30 years, something like that.
Oh, don't say that to WAH. I'm not hear the end of it.
Oof.
No, don't worry,
Pretty
don't
much.
worry.
But,
I would,
but yeah, just
don't worry. We already know Ant's like in his 60s, so it's fine.
I'm ancient now. Technically, if you said adds 30 years, technically Inkthinks is still near enough the same age, so it's still good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what you
but
get out of high
everything
school,
age is
age
30 years to
matters a
you.
lot less between friends.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What was that, Wah? Sorry about that.
I mean, I was just saying it'll also add age to Ant though, so
That's what I say.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah, so I'm looking at your channel right now, going back like Waluigi 2 years ago, and I see what you mean. But looking at your channel, like at your thumbnails, and I said like the main thing is like how you present yourself. Like you're very clear in how you're spoken. Like me, like just now, like I'll say all this, but yours is very clean. How you present yourself. Fastest growing person that I've subscribed to. I said known you since 1,000 subscribers. Now to like near enough 10k. This is amazing. Top quality thumbnails, brilliant. I like the series. The problem with series, I do like that. I like that a lot. And I do like the new series you're doing. As I said, I did like Nosy and how. So I can't wait for more of those sort of.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a wild ride, but I enjoy it.
Yeah. So you said you first Smash Bros, and also WAH and Space. If you've got any questions, if you're unsure of Inkthinks and that, I know you said you was looking at his channel right now, Space. But WAH, if you've got any questions, just jump in, just cut me off whenever. So I don't mind.
Yeah, ask me anything.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, honestly, it's good to have you here. Yeah, go on. What?
How did you actually come up with your YouTube name? Like, I got the part where you competed at Melee tournaments, but why you got that YouTube name?
Did you not? Oh, did you not hear the pen bit? He did say.
I heard a bit about.
I didn't go into a ton of detail about how I connected Ink to Inkthinks, but yeah, like I said, I competed under the tag Ink. I did that because it's related to my last name. If you squint. And then I decided, well, I think I want to do analysis, and thinks rhymes with ink, so I'll do that. And that's about my entire thought process. Turns out there's another Inkthinks who has all of my social media tags, who writes stuff about dogs and squirrels and is active on Twitter and is very happy with the name. So I'm sharing that right now.
So wait, sorry, he's got your social media, like your link. You said.
She was Inkthinks before I was Inkthinks.
Okay.
So I've got hers. I'm Inkthinks.
So you stole her identity.
But then she's like, do you know what? Because like you stole my identity, I'm going to steal your social media links. So I'm linking all you, tagging all your name in it, and just do it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. For the longest time, she outranked me on YouTube. When you typed in Inkthinks, her channel with I think 0 videos popped up.
Oh, really? I'll tell you what though. When I was trying to find your channel again. I was just typing it in, and do you know what came up first before yours? It was like Inkthinks, and there was like Linkthinks as well. That's other channels kept coming up.
Oh god,
which is funny.
Yeah, I got a long way to go in the SEO game.
Which is funny. So,
Were you saying the SpaceKing?
SpaceKing?
What's up?
You're right. Did you say something?
Oh no, I was just looking around some of his videos right now.
Yeah, we're all snooping, giving you extra views. So,
he's just helping me out, refreshing on the channel.
Yeah, but what I found funny is I think WAH watches your content like a lot, because your most popular videos is Waluigi, one last look, one final look, and in the final analysis, Waluigi in the first top row. It's all Waluigi.
sounds about right. A really funny thing. I was looking at the terms used most often to find my channel. I looked at the top 50. Every single one was Waluigi related. This was a few months ago, but without fail, every single one.
Right, we're turning the name into WAHthinks, not Inkthinks anymore.
Oh yeah.
To be fair, that is probably going to get beaten out by your new series, which has gotten you a lot of attention. The one about YouTubers.
Yeah, those ones are doing better than I have any right for them to do at my channel size.
Like how Farad saw your Alfred one, right? Like you commented on your video.
Oh,
yeah, he did. I've actually had super lucky timing with the Alpharad one as well as the Scott the Waz one. Alpharad, I posted that, and then a few days later, he made a really ambiguous statement about whether or not he's sticking with YouTube, which, I mean, he is, but he commented on my video basically saying, I'm going to be excited to give you content in 2021. And then also people were looking for his name because they were curious about that. And then with Scott the Waz, literally 20 minutes after I posted my video, he got hacked on Twitter, which is really sad, but it meant that everyone was searching his name. So it worked out well for me.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the comment right now on your video. So if you guys haven't checked out, and Alfred has commented on this video, we can all confirm it, and you can see it online. So the rise of Alfred, the internet funny man, that is Inkthink's video, and literally the first comment is Alfred, and it's verified and everything, and he says this: "Wow, very surprised at all the information you've managed to pull. Felt like a fun trip down memory lane. Good video, and I'll do my best to give you a whole new era of content to cover next year." That's amazing, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's surreal. His comment alone has more thumbs up than a lot of my videos have views, which is just crazy.
And just like, where's Alpha? Where is he? Oh, he's there. Hi, Alpha. Hi.
Right.
Damn, that's so exciting stuff for you, man. Honestly, this is another reason why, like I said, how you present yourself, and I keep saying it, I know, but I'm going to sing your praises, and I don't really care. So it's just how you present yourself, the stuff you do that no one has really done the problem with. I mean, they've probably done a video here and there, maybe, but they haven't done like a whole series on it, which you've done. And the rise of like people, Nintendo Smash content as well, which is interesting. And I do like all the problem. One final look. It's very unique, but again, at the same time, I guess it's a combination of uniqueness as well as how you present yourself, which is a good combo for a great content creator. So
well, thank you. I have a great time doing it. Even the final analysis, like there's speculation videos on YouTube, there's not a ton dedicated to a single character in each video, other than some niche characters like Sora. Most of them are like moveset videos. Like BrawlFan makes some really great moveset videos.
We've had them on.
Just speculation alone.
Sora's a niche character?
Niche as far as speculation videos go. I should have said like a cult following, like Kingdom Hearts fans are. I said Kingdom Farts. Kingdom Hearts fans are like diehard for the series. Yeah, you'll get a few videos like that. But Master Chief, the videos that you'll find on there are kind of hard. But what I do is I spend hours. My brother actually helps me out too now these days, so I'll have some more time.
My brother did that. You hear this, man? You watch this. God damn it.
So I'll spend hours pouring literally over every single argument I can find on the internet, no matter how small it is, about the character, and then make sure I address it in some way.
That's cool. Yeah, because there was things that I did like to go into, like assist trophies and stuff. And I would like to talk to you about this. Go for it. So like with the whole speculation, like so you got the fan rules. I don't think I watched your assist trophy one, to be honest, but I have watched. I said the Rise of Little Z, and I did like Master Chief. Anything with Master Chief, I'm all over it. So one final look, and it's Smash Bros. I have watched it. I just can't remember. One thing with me, I can't explain myself. Well, two things: can't explain myself properly, and I got a very bad memory. So
right.
So yeah, just bear with me. But I have apparently watched it. So according to my watch history, it's got the red line. So I guess I've watched it. So let's go into some speculation if you guys really want to.
Absolutely.
I do have one last question for Inkthinks actually.
Yeah,
go for it. What actually got him into Smash? Like, I know he competed in competitive tournaments. What was his first encounter with Smash Bros?
So my first encounter, I was probably like 4 years old. It's been almost 2 decades. But I remember very specifically, we moved into a new place in Mesa, Arizona. I'm in Colorado now, but that's where I lived at the time. And my next door neighbor, they had a kid around my age, and I went over there and they had Smash 64, which was that was my first Smash game. Yeah. But I went over there all the time and played. I have a very specific memory of them telling me that the landmine was a trampoline, and like a dang fool, I trusted them. Lost the stock, and ever since then, I decided I wanted to be better than my neighbor, which turned into being better than my siblings. And I just love the game going forward. I think there's nothing exactly like it, and I love the characters. It introduced me to a bunch of different series. So it's just always been a favorite to play with my siblings and my friends. And at college, it's how I met a lot of people. So it's just been something that's really stuck with me. I didn't get super involved in it, though, until shortly before I made my channel when I started competing in Melee.
That's interesting. Nintendo 64 myself. It's just, but the thing is, landmine. Did that not come to mind? Landmine, trampoline.
Yep. I mean, I'll give myself some credit for being like 5 years old at the time, but
fair enough.
Man, I should have known. I was too trusting.
Now, I actually have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so seeing as you're covering some of these big names, these big YouTubers like Scott the Waz,
He's
is there
basically,
ever?
if I can jump in very quickly, Space is basically saying, don't forget us, okay?
No, 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 I'm not. I was gonna say, seeing as you're covering these big guys,
Yeah.
do you like ever kind of like worry that you might put them or like I should say like misresearch something or like misportray something? Because I know whenever I talk to someone like with a big following, like I sweat profusely trying to make sure that everything comes across correctly, right?
Yeah, that's definitely a worry that I have. When I'm writing the scripts for those, I try to make sure I'm not inferring anything about their personality or their goals unless they state it specifically. The two issues is that people can be really inconsistent, like saying one thing in one interview and then another thing in another interview as far as it comes to their opinions.
Mm.
But my bigger worry is I'm going to freak someone out by the stuff that I find about them. Like Alpha Red, I had a bunch of information about what he was like growing up because he has a video a few years back where he talked about it and kind of his entry point into content creation. But like in my research, I found things like his wedding video with hardly any views, like all sorts of weird stuff where I'm like, okay, where's the line where I can make stuff that's as informative as I can without getting a restraining order taken out on me? That's my biggest worry.
Ah, all right, that's an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah, there was something. Smash speculation. There was something. I was while you two was talking. I was just actually mentioning about the speculation scene because it said smash. Because I watched your video on Sephiroth killed the smash speculation scene. Could you just quickly just go if you remember a run through of that? I have watched it. But I wish I had a better memory. If there's one thing I could change, it's better memory.
Yeah,
that
so
video.
Run through that because I knew there was something because I wanted to ask you like say, oh, I wanted your opinion on the same. That's all. But if you can run it very quickly.
yeah, for sure. Before I get into that, what were you going to say?
No, I know unless it is that video.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so the Sephiroth video, that was kind of like my mental breaking point with Smash speculation because I built my entire channel and brand off of I'm doing what I feel like is the best research I'm able to try to figure out who's going to be in. And obviously, part of the videos I create is going to be driven by what people want to hear me talk about, like what characters are popular. But I remember specifically a few people would ask me about Sephiroth's chances on stream. And I'd be like, nah, I don't know. I don't see him getting in. We already have Cloud. No way. And like I was so confident about it. Looking back, and I can see, yeah, that was an illogical position to take. So that's basically me saying that everything I thought I was holding to in Smash speculation, I think needs to be reevaluated. The community as a whole has a pretty bad track record for predicting characters accurately. Like you're definitely going to find some people across the board predicting characters, but most people like you hear Crash speculated, Sora, Doom Guy. There's a few big names that come up all the time, and just mathematically, not all of them can get in anymore. Waluigi, Geno, things like that. Yeah. So I don't know. My thought was if as a community we're so inaccurate with it. I mean, we got Banjo-Kazooie. Then obviously the metric that we're using or the kind of things we're holding ourselves to are flawed, or at least they're not as optimal as they need to be if we want to accurately predict it. So we either need to change what we're doing as a community to open up our horizons to new characters, explore characters that might not be obvious at first, or else change the nature of what the speculation scene is for. Instead of trying to predict the exact right character, just go for the sake of what would be an interesting conversation. I prefer the first method out of those two, but that's kind of the rundown of that video.
See, I've got something to add to this. Now, I don't know if anyone else has said this, and I don't know how true it is, but I can't exactly remember what it was. But do you remember there was, going back, I can't think how long, maybe the first year of Smash, maybe? There was a couple of Twitter accounts that was spamming Masahiro Sakurai and the other person that made Smash or something, and they said because you spammed us with these requests, you're now going to get your character. You're not going to get your character.
Oh, the creator of Tekken.
That's it. And they said, "I'm going to."
From my understanding, that guy is kind of a troll. I don't.
All right.
I feel like it would kind of affect a Tekken character's chances. I don't feel like Sakurai would considering characters like Ridley and K. Rool are in, who were definitely spammed at him. I don't care what people say; they were 100% spammed at him.
Yeah,
I feel like
100%.
it's fair to say he doesn't probably doesn't appreciate it, but it isn't going to just sour his opinion of a character.
Yeah. And I think you're spot on there, Wah, because I think that implication is really problematic. Because if you accept that as the rule, like if you spam this character enough, and if you want them this bad, or if you make awful edgy memes about this character and send hate to Sakurai, then your character won't get in as punishment. I think that sets up a few really problematic things, like Nintendo being influenced for their entire fan base, over 20 million people who have bought Smash Bros. Ultimate, being influenced by a few people who are being toxic. And not only that, but then the implication is if there's a character you really don't want, all you got to do is be really toxic and pretend like you do want it and spam them, and then boom, you've disqualified that character.
Yeah, see, this is what I was thinking, because I was thinking maybe the reason why we haven't got either crashes right at the end, or and the same with Geno as well. I think it was Geno when I was thinking about this, on why we haven't, because that's why I brought up your video about like Sephiroth killed the Smash speculation scene. Because is it because and I know you guys made good points with it as well, but because they spammed so hard, and I know he's a troll as well, so hard, but with the characters, it was literally Crash for Smash, it was Master Chief for Smash, it was some other characters.
I know there was an alpha smashing pinged in the tweet.
Yeah, and they said because of those characters that you kept spamming us all the time, I'm going to talk to Sakurai and say we're not going to get your characters in. It makes me wonder how true that might be, instead of like maybe.
I mean, I feel like at that point it was too late anyway, because Pass 2 was probably at least in talks at that point. Maybe not decided, but at least in talks. And I highly doubt he would really be able to affect it too much.
Yeah. What were you saying there, SpaceKing?
I was gonna say I severely doubt like he even talked to Sakurai about that. Like I think that Mr. Harada was absolutely just trolling at that point in time.
Or maybe beyond trolling, like if my experience as a teenager taught me anything, like my parents would take my phone all the time, and if I was being annoying enough, they'd be like, "You are never getting this back until you're 18 years old and you pay me $10,000," or that kind of attitude. Sometimes you just want to get people off your back.
Yeah, I mean, to be
okay. I actually am very familiar with what happened during that situation. Basically,
I'm not, so go for it.
Basically, there was like this massive thread of like 4 Smash accounts. Like they were making a joke or something.
It was like
and,
an
like,
endgame
tagging
story
people.
mode thing.
Yeah, it was something like that, where it's just like 4 Smash accounts, and they were like, there was the picture from the end of Avengers Endgame where everybody was coming out of the portals to fight Thanos, and like people like the idea was like, oh, you have a character come out of a portal, you edit it onto the picture, and then you pass it on to another Smash account. Well, at some point during the chain, some idiot had the brilliant idea to tag Mr. Sakurai, to tag Mr. Harada, to tag a bunch of other developers and people that had honestly nothing to do with the situation. And then Mr. Harada, unfortunately, immediately assumed that they were asking Sakurai, him, other people within Namco, within Nintendo, etc. for it. And that wasn't what was going on. It was a miscommunication. And yeah, so the entire Smash community just got dragged through the mud for an evening. Which
that makes sense. Yeah.
Which
I'm imagining this scenario where Nintendo approaches Mr. Harada. Was that his name?
Yeah, he's the guy the director of Tekken.
Gotcha. Like they approach him and they're like, "Hey, we want Hayachi and Smash." He's like, "Oh yeah, well let me show you something real fast." And he pulls up his Twitter feed. He's like, "No deal. I'm sorry. These guys said they want him in 40 times." Like I don't see something like that happening.
Yeah, absolutely no way that happens. If Mr. Sakurai came up and said to Mr. Harada, "Hey, I want to put Heihachi," or "Hey, I want to put another Tekken character," and there's no way he's saying no.
I mean,
just speaking realistically.
I mean, I would say this: if he was gonna say no, I don't feel like we would have got the Heihachi Mii costume back, because Sakurai cares what the creators want for the most part.
I mean, to be fair, like I think at this point it's just getting all the Smash 4 costumes in. Just that's it. That's anyway, because as well, like
be playable though.
Sorry.
mean, last week you were saying Lloyd would be playable.
Well, yeah, I mean, his meal costume is still not yet. I do actually think Lloyd is next, which I do want to go into with. But the Smash 4, like, I mean, it seems like we've just got, like with Geno, they didn't even do deluxe. They literally just, well, some people debating about that. Some people say, oh, yeah, it has been upgraded a little bit, so it looks better. Some other people say, no, it's a straight Smash 4 me costume port. So I'm not quite sure.
Improvements, like it isn't clipping anymore.
I'll be right back. I have to go mute for a little bit.
No worries.
All right,
Yeah,
SpaceKing. It has a few improvements, like there's no clipping anymore, but there's just more genuine, not even lock improvements, it's just physics more so.
Yeah, I mean, there's the thing going around where I don't know how you believe this, Ink, as well. Where also let me go back to the thing. So what I was saying about the whole banning accounts as well, it's just saying I've seen no one talk about it, but then again, it's not something I believe is true. I'm just saying it's good to like talk about it, have something like on the back of your mind just in case it could be one of the reasons. Like if we got all this next fighters, not one of them's Crash. Why haven't we got Crash? Why didn't we get Geno? It's kind of like all these like questions.
Well, maybe I can give a little insight on Geno because I have my own theory. Because basically, because I got to a point where I just realized, oh yeah, Geno has no shot, does he? And that's because I kind of just came to terms that all the Smash 4 Wii U and 3DS third-party Mii costumes were probably negotiated in base. Because we had none of them be upgraded in Pass 1, which probably was originally planned to be the end. So why wouldn't they have negotiated for all the old Mii costumes back then?
Yeah,
that's the reason I immediately write off characters like Lloyd.
I just did like what Papa Geno says. Oh, does Sakurai not care about Geno?
I feel like he cares, but I feel like Smash fans do really overrate how much he really wants Geno.
Yeah, I mean,
it's something I call the Geno paradox, where Sakurai straight up said he likes the character. He says he thinks he would be cool. He has a gun for a hand, and he likes that, which shows Sakurai is a man of good taste. But I think that within the Smash community, there's a perception of Geno being more popular than what his game sales represent. The sales don't reflect the amount of conversation that he gets. He has substantially less sales in a game that he's not the main character than any other DLC. But because he's so talked about, for example, Papa Geno's is a big supporter of Geno, which I think is awesome. But he gets a lot of views on his video. People hear that, then they start talking about Geno, and then people hear that and they start talking about Geno. And you hear it so often, there becomes this perception of he's this massively demanded character. And it's just not clear if that's actually the case.
See, it just makes you wonder. Like, I wish I was a fly on the wall when they talked about Geno, and it said it could be what Papa Geno said, like a deal that they said, no, we don't want Geno from Square Enix. No, we can't give you Geno. We don't want instead. It could have been just like a straight out swap. He said you can have the Mii costume back, but we just want Sephiroth in. It could be something like that. We don't actually know what the situation is, and it's a shame we don't because we would know.
It's so hard to know.
Yeah.
Personally, I severely doubt that Geno played any role in getting Sephiroth into Smash. I feel like
I feel like if anything,
my theory is that because like it's almost a hello.
I'm sorry, use the first space. It's fine.
Okay, I was gonna say my personal theory is that it probably went something along the lines of how it's like a meme that like FF7 only had so much representation. I feel like back when the game was probably being planned, like the notion was that they were going to increase the content representing Final Fantasy. And maybe Square Enix was looking to cash out and said, look, hey, if you want better FF7 representation, it has to be DLC. And so Sakurai ended up at a crossroads like, oh, I could make Cloud DLC and break everyone is here, but I increase FF7 representation. Or I could just have Cloud in the base game and then eventually make Sephiroth DLC. And that's how I foresee it going.
It's so hard to know with stuff like that. Like I know with Square Enix, largely there's this perception of them being like the super uncooperative, the super uncooperative company that's just super stingy with all of their stuff, and they'll let Nintendo have their two most popular characters, but when it comes to 3 music tracks, that's where they draw the line. Which is why I appreciate most recent Sakurai Presents with Sephiroth, because he gives some insight into the complications with the Final Fantasy music and why we might not have gotten it. But it's so hard to speculate on internal business dealings when we're someone who has no knowledge of the internal business dealings.
I'll tell you what's really funny as well. Like speaking of like songs from Final Fantasy as well, the new songs. I don't know if you know this, but if you play Cloud's 2 songs that he had with him, which was what are the names of the songs? It was Fight On. Was it Fight On? One of them.
Yeah.
It's the FF7 boss theme, and the other one's like the main theme, battle theme.
I couldn't tell you.
If you do videos on them, which I did played World of Light, and when I got to Versing Cloud with one of those songs, I actually got copyrighted with it. So when I re-uploaded my video of that bit as well, this is like after Sephiroth's release, I still got copyrighted for it. But when I played a Sephiroth on his stage and other music, I don't get copyrighted.
That's funny because I know the Advent Children version of One Winged Angel is apparently owned by Sony. Yes, Nintendo approached Sony for a song.
Yeah.
And this is my
you gotta reckon.
This has always been my take. It's kind of hard for Square Enix to give Nintendo more music if they are not the owner or not sole owner of the music.
It just adds more and more layers of complication.
The songs that you are were referencing were "Let the Battles Begin" and "Fight On."
Yeah, see, I still get copyright for those songs, which is really weird, but every other Final Fantasy song is not copyrighted, which is very weird.
All right. There's this convenient list on the Smash Wiki that has like copyrights and stuff. Okay,
really? Send me that. I need that.
So Aerith's theme. This is one of the most famous Final Fantasy songs. Okay, it was arranged by Keiichi Okaba. Composition was copyrighted from Square Enix. The arrangement was done by a studio called Monica. The copyright is Square Enix Limited, which is like the global organization, and it was licensed by Sony.
Oh,
so
man.
yeah, the copyright situation for Final Fantasy's music is very messy.
I don't envy the people that have to sit through those meetings.
Sorry, to put it the easiest way, it's just legally screwed. That's the route. I always thought Square Enix was stingy, and ironically, one of your mods is the one who actually kind of knocked sense into me about that. I bet you know who that is. One of Ink's mods.
All right, I just sent that link to that page.
Okay. What'd you say?
No,
sorry, I missed that one.
No, all I said is I always thought Square Enix was stingy. Then I bet one of your mods, I think you can guess who, went on to me about the entire legal situation.
Oh, yep. I gotta guess who that might be.
I wonder who will always go on about Final Fantasy copyright.
Yeah. It was just something weird to add, but also it's like the whole Nintendo copyrighted the Forest Mushrooms one, which was really odd. And then like obviously Publishing said there might be a very, very slim chance he might be DLC at the end, but then why would you have a Mii costume? So
apparently about that, it's just something to do with YouTube copyright. Bots can just spam you or
I mean some I think it was a Spanish. I don't know what it was. It was like some Spanish content copyright thing. Copyrighted my Mario Odyssey live stream, and it's like, how can you copyright this visual content? It's Nintendo. Mario, he's Italian, but he's not Mexican.
But yeah, that's something. That's the reason I kind of thought it was possible. Then I also heard that information about how YouTube works from that same mod. But weird how informed he is about Square Enix, huh? I would say it's probably his favorite company if I knew no better.
Yeah.
Okay, so
he's a really big fan of Sora and Smash. We're talking about the same person.
Oh yeah, massive fan. He won't stop insisting Sora's a lock.
Sora's one of my most predicted characters, actually, which really surprised me. I wasn't expecting that going into it, but I've really kind of had my mind changed the more I looked into his chances.
I think my take on Sora is people either think he's completely impossible, which is stupid and wrong, or people completely disregard him for some reason. Not disregard him. People think he's a complete lock, and that's what I call bias.
Right. Anyone who tells you they know who's a complete lock and smash is lying to you or and themselves.
It's a lock, man. hey, Inkthink's done 4 videos on Waluigi, or even more. He's a lock. He's just a lock.
Ironically, Ink actually doesn't think Waluigi's that likely.
No. It's not about the title of the video. He's a lock. Because he's done many videos.
Yeah. With what you're saying, why it's interesting. My position on him is kind of strange. It all comes down to assist trophies, because I don't think anyone arguing it in good faith could say no one knows who Waluigi is. He's never been relevant. Sakurai will spit on his grave when he's dead. Like, I don't think anyone bringing up those points either looks at the data of how popular the games he's been in are, or talks to any sort of casual fan who he's one of the most popular characters. I think it all comes down to assist trophies 9 out of 10 times. And I don't know. I'm kind of like an assist trophy agnostic, so to speak. I don't necessarily think assist trophies are going to get into the game. I don't think that there's any logically sound argument that can be made against them, at least not yet. And so as far as other characters go, I kind of rate Waluigi on par with other first-party characters, maybe slightly below due to the fact that he's an assist trophy, but that's not an objective thing at all. That's just kind of my own interpretation of the scenario.
My take on Waluigi's always been, if we get another first party, he is probably one of the more likely ones, because I feel like Nintendo is usually one to push promotion. I wonder where I got that idea. I really wonder, but I feel like at the minute we haven't seen much of something they can promote, unless something like the 3D Kirby game comes sooner than we expect, or something like that. There aren't many strong candidates you could pull from.
Yeah, and I think
besides the Pokemon game and the new Legend of Zelda games coming out, like I don't know. I think there's a few they could pull from.
This is just my personal opinion. I could be completely wrong, but I do think Spirit events, for at least the current pass, do kind of kill the chance.
I totally understand where you're coming from with that.
Though I could be completely wrong. Sakurai could just be adding these spirits just to screw with the fans.
Yeah. I don't think there's enough to say that they do disconfirm a character. But I don't know. I definitely see where you're coming with that. And me personally, it damages my expectations of the character a bit, even if it's something that we can't necessarily prove objectively.
See, there's a few things here with the assist trophies. I know, like, it's 2 different games. I mean, Little Mac, he was an assist trophy before Smash 4. In Smash 4, then he became a playable character. I know 2 different games, but you never know. And you could replace, like we was going about Springman. If Springman got in, you could replace Springman assist trophy. Either one, he doesn't appear with the Springman assist trophy with Springman in there, or replace him with that Springtron, I think it is, just like another version. That's the same with like Shadow. You could probably have, instead of Shadow being a assist trophy, you could probably have Silver going Chaos Control, even though it would look probably a bit weird.
Just make the blast green, it'll work.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What did you say? What did you say? SpaceKing?
Because the way that Shadow's assist trophy works is that he slows down time. And the effect is red. So if you made Shadow playable and then you went ahead and while Shadow was in the game, it was being played as if Shadow's assist trophy showed up, it was silver. You could just make the effect green in accordance with Silver's abilities.
Yeah, so that was the thing. The other thing that WAH said about spirit events, I mean, like, they could deconfirm, but like even the recent one, the Age of Calamity, that's only 3 spirits. So I still think, like, if we did get a character, okay, it might be kind of, you get a spirit event that might kind of say, oh, well, I've paid full price for a fighter stage and a spirit event and music. But then Sakurai did say just like fighter stage and music. He didn't say like fighter stage music and spirit event, but you get kind of like a spirit event thrown in. So I could see if it is a Pokemon or a Legend of Zelda, which he keeps mentioning in his videos. So maybe playable like another Zelda, and have the spirit board of like Age of Calamity with some other spirits we haven't got in Smash of Legend of Zelda. So something like that.
My logic with spirit events is, why would they add them when they could just put them in the spirit board to mark up the value in a way. It's because a best example is we didn't get a free House of Spirit event. If it didn't matter in that essence, why didn't they just decide to do it?
Yeah, true. And then we got Byleth.
Once
So,
If I'm not mistaken, we didn't get a arms one either, didn't we?
I mean, Arms was already out. It had base game spirits.
Right.
It's hard to know because we don't know what kind of involvement Sakurai has in the choice of characters, or what kind of involvement Nintendo has with the spirits coming to the game, and it's hard to know if they view it just as legitimate of content as the fighters, or what kind of involvement there is there. I don't think there's any way to prove that it disconfirms, although that would be my suspicion as well.
Well, we do have some slight insight into the selection process. Like Mr. Sakurai has said before that the way it works with the DLC is that Nintendo basically presents him with an idea, and he's the one who gives the final yes or no on whether it'll work or not.
Right. Yeah,
Excuse me.
With that argument specifically, I agree. I think that's our best insight into that, and he said that multiple times. What I was saying is we don't know how involved or how similar that process is to Spirit Board characters, but people go through, like, one of my big criticisms of Smash speculation that I'm not immune from myself, I think everyone does it, it's human nature, is they get a character they really want or they really don't want, and then they go through these mental gymnastics to convince themselves that they either are or aren't likely. And I don't know. I think with spirit boards, there are some things to point one way or another, but ultimately, people in Smash speculation tend to see what they're looking for more often than not.
I mean, now, like, because Sephiroth has been released, and actually this was made aware by one of your videos as well, when you said about the whole the fan rules, but you said one which I didn't actually realize before. There was one, and it's probably obvious to other people, but to me I didn't actually know existed, probably maybe subconsciously, maybe, but I didn't really think about it until your video, which was basically two characters from a third party, like one, like, you know, Sonic, and like Sephiroth and Cloud is the newest one. They can't get in because they're third party, and you won't get another one from it. And then obviously Sephiroth has blown that fan theory. But I actually didn't know that existed until I watched your video, Ink.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't know that existed.
I will admit, this is a fan rule I feel like most of the Smash community unknowingly fell into. If it
See, I didn't even know.
With the Spirit Board specifically, what?
No, the third party series not getting 2 non-echo reps.
Oh, gotcha. That was something I definitely fell into. That's something that I was thinking.
If it makes you feel any better, I fell on a more extreme end where I felt like alts wouldn't even get unique names, and then Steve happened.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said before, it's probably like, or you know, what's the word? Like, obvious to some people, but to me, it's one of the things I didn't even think about. I think maybe just like subconsciously, like third party, that's it. It's like, you know, I didn't figure, or maybe that is the way of thinking. You know, third party, that's it, nothing from that series, nothing else from the series. But then even before that, you got Ken and Ryu and Ken, haven't you? So Ken, I know it's an Echo Fire, but you know.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you on that. That's something that I really needed to go through myself, is to start thinking about that, because I feel like I had unintentionally closed myself off to a bunch of characters. I recorded a video yesterday, 2 days ago. It's going to be in my next one out. I thought it was an original video because I don't watch Smash content, but it's done to death. It's adding a character for each series in Smash. But it opened my eyes to a lot of new characters that I hadn't considered before. Some of them aren't going to be quite as likely. For example, I went with Escargoon for Kirby, knowing full well he's never getting into the game. But it was a fun exercise for me, and it did open my mind to some characters that I hadn't previously considered. And I think that's something that a lot of people would really benefit from, is doing something similar, asking themselves what characters they had kind of slept on as a legitimate choice, and reevaluating those.
I think the theory that's going to go around is the theory that every character that's been released is going to break a rule or have some sort of theme. Crash is definitely next, and it's something we don't even expect. So that's the theory.
Okay, so wait, with the fan, I have a question with the every character will break a fan rule thing, because I think that's kind of indirectly created an Inception. If a character doesn't break a fan rule, So it would break that fan rule about every character in the past breaking a fan rule. What do we do
Exactly. Yeah.
Fan rule.
You just get consumed by the paradox and go into the void.
You slowly go slowly into madness by thinking about it. That's fanception. That is. So yeah, that's a lot of things to unpack. So I'm just trying to get my thoughts on this with it all. So the question is, and also that's it. Every character's got a theme. Like Arms is like long-reaching character, but then I guess you could say Sephiroth's long-reaching. But we'll get to that. We had Joker with his like persona, his Arsene. You have Hero with his spells, and you got Terry with his, what's it called? The Go Gauge? I called it the Go Gauge.
Every character will have a unique gimmick. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, pretty much.
Mechanic,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Joker had Arsene, Hero, bloody hell, had the mana gauge. He had like limited magic.
Mm-hmm.
Banjo had Wonder Wings. Terry had the Go mechanic. Byleth had switching weapons. Min Min had the unique controls and the long range.
Oh,
with switching.
Terry also is, besides the Street Fighter characters, is the only one with command inputs.
Go Gauge.
Yeah,
that's what I call it.
Each character definitely has something, and that's actually not something that's unfounded, which surprised me. There was an interview with Sakurai, or it wasn't an interview. He was responding to a post on the Brawl Dojo website, I believe. He would do weekly posts and responses to those. And one of the rules that he gave, and it's always hard to know how much these keep up over the decade, but that he wanted characters that they add to have something that no other character can do in the same way. And so I kind of see that same trend with DLC, but I think rather than asking, well, what character can't have a gimmick, I don't know if that's useful or productive, because I think Sakurai could find something for just about any character out there.
I mean, since Steve released, I'm quite sure he can put like anything on the table now. Like first of all, I thought it was like, oh yeah, Min Min. Oh, because he wants to get an arms rep. Now he's got one. Now we've got Steve. It's like, how much longer is he going? Well, how much further is he going to push the boat with like what characters can do? So it makes you wonder, like, who's got what. See, I mean, I don't know how you feel with Banjo, the stance on Banjo, because people say, oh, well, Wonder Wing is his gimmicky, he's invincible. But then to me, I see it as, yeah, it is. But technically, if you think about it, Banjo, there's no hate towards Banjo, by the way, with the character. The character, I actually like playing as Banjo, but it's like he's kind of, compared to the others, kind of plain. I don't know if you get the same thing, but the Wonder Wing, do you really call that a gimmick, or is it just a normal special attack? What do you think of that?
I personally think that combined with the rest of his moveset stands out in a few different ways. It obviously feels like a different kind of gimmick than like Arsene, for example, or the Go Gauge, as you call it, or Min Min being stupid. Instead, I don't know. His moves feel unique in the sense he uses another character as his weapon half the time, or he can, like he has Wonder Wing. But I don't know. It definitely, I see where you're coming from. It feels different than what we've seen before.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, Master Manic says in here, I consider it a gimmicky attack. Yeah, I mean, because like you can say that about like, is it a gimmicky attack? And the same with Byleth. What's her special? Is it because she hasn't got a counter? That is her gimmick. She hasn't got a counter.
Byleth is apparent. Byleth, I question if Byleth's the one where I'm just like, does she have one? And then Sakurai says every DLC character has a gimmick in that exact or unique mechanic in that presentation. And who the hell am I to argue against Sakurai?
Yeah,
right. Well, Byleth has the alternate weapons, right?
I mean, you don't really change weapons though. They're just different moves and
attacks,
I feel like changing weapons is something you could argue more for someone like Min Min, to be honest. But once again, who the hell am I to argue against Sakurai?
All right, so we'll go into some of that as well, like so like with some speculation, like this is going into like what we found out that Chun-Li might have been Ken replaced Chun-Li. I don't know if you guys think.
I can talk about that leak because I've
looked into it. I had something else to talk about, but I can't remember it. So
because I looked into it a lot, and now I'm trolling one of your mods by saying Yori is a lock because they're always saying Lloyd's more likely, so I'm trolling the hell out of them now.
I'll be right back as well. So
go for it.
All right, so basically the leak has gone quite a few stuff right. Some interesting stuff like Steve being a movable model in around a few years ago, which kind of lines up with what we know, depending on how it's portrayed. If we assume Steve's mechanic was just incredibly hard to implement, yeah, he was probably meant for base as well. But that part's one which I'm kind of a bit more grey on, but I feel like could line up. It got quite a few DLC characters right, like Sephiroth being considered, which, considering the 7 square names from Vergibin and the fact he's playable now, I wouldn't be surprised by. There was something about he got an Dragon Quest rep right. He said Chun-Li was meant to be in base, apparently, but he thinks was replaced by Ken. So he's gotten quite a bit right, which has lined up, which I don't think would have been as impressive if it didn't line up to this length of time.
Right. Yeah.
And then,
go ahead.
Then you have the last piece of information, which is, if we assume, yeah, Chun-Li was just replaced by Ken, if we just assume that, for simplicity, who Ken shouldn't have been an Echo anyway, so I really don't care. It means the only missing part is either Tales of Symphonia or Tales of the Vesperia rep, aka probably Lloyd or Yori.
I'm back.
Honestly, that series is something I've slept on for a while. Tales of Symphonia. I never played it growing up. It's something I do want to get around to, but I've always kind of dismissed it in my head as, oh, this is just a really niche game. But I have the sales pulled up here. The series has shipped over 23.86 million units worldwide. Mm-hmm. And when you compare that with the other DLC that we have, that outperforms a lot of the characters. That outperforms Joker, Banjo-Kazooie, and then most of the first party characters, but that's always hard to gauge how they factor sales into that. That's something I really want to look into now. I had kind of underestimated.
Oh, I don't mean to cut off.
No, go for it. I'm done.
I was going to say, also, if you go into the character popularity polls and stuff, like Lloyd Irving is a historically popular character as requested by Japanese fans. He's been requested for a very, very long time, going back to Brawl. So he would be absolutely a big inclusion for the East, just like what?
Just like Hero was.
Yeah. He's not quite that level, but definitely a big game. If I'm just speaking individually, Tales of Symphonia was absolutely the most prevalent one. It had sold somewhere in a ballpark of like 2 or 3 million copies by itself, and it had been re-released multiple times. And it's actually very highly critically acclaimed game, and it had as a direct sequel on the Wii. So yeah, I could absolutely see Tales of Symphonia being represented in Smash.
I always have a little bit of heart. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's Tales of is probably in Namco's most prevalent franchises. It's behind maybe Tekken and well, actually, I think it's bigger than Souls. Actually, I was about to say Dark Souls, but no, I think it's bigger than Souls in terms of just overall sales numbers.
I think Dark Souls is a bit higher, but I can quickly check that.
Dark Souls is lower, but oh wait, no, it's higher by like 4 million.
Yeah, I thought it was a tiny bit higher.
Proportionally, it's not too bad. I think the sales of the series definitely speak for themselves. I'm skeptical of fan polling for popularity. The sample size is almost never good enough to get an accurate representation. The best one I've ever seen has around 20,000, which is still a drop in the bucket compared to the 20 million people that bought the game. And then also those fans likely follow the same speculation circles, so it's hard to know if those names would be artificially inflated. But I definitely want to look into Tales of Symphonia. This is something I hadn't seriously considered before.
Can I say something?
Like 20 minutes ago.
One final look.
What were you going to say, Wah?
Ink, I'm going to say something because people don't try to agree with me here, but I'm also going to say this. I think you should also look into Tales of Vesperia because I know because I know Lloyd tends to be the more prevalent request, at least in the West. I remember there was some in the East. There was a poll saying Lloyd was the most popular, but then if you read into it, they just factored all the Tales of characters and just put them into Lloyd.
Right.
Which was...
That's something... that's something I definitely want to look into. Where my brain immediately goes with that. Sorry, did you have more to add?
No, I was going to say is Yori is basically the most popular pro tag. He's straight up been banned from the official polls because he just dominated. He's been put in like a Hall of Fame thing.
Yeah, well, Lloyd, I feel would probably be the air quotes obvious choice. I would not deny the possibility of, instead of Tales of Symphonia, it'd be Tales of Vesperia getting the character, because Tales of Vesperia is also another extremely prevalent game from the series. Just right here on the page, the original release of the game had sold 1.5 million copies, and then they had a prequel, a movie. They had re-releases. They had the remaster. They had the expansion, which took years to get re-released on other systems.
As the definitive edition.
And there was like this huge fan campaign to get the expansion localized.
So here's where my brain goes to immediately with that. And this is probably what my process is going to be if I ever do a final analysis, is I would want to see the sales of the different series and how they compare. But then to make sure that that's potentially a factor, I would want to go through the other series that have been added to Smash. For example, with Mega Man, does the classic franchise outsell Mega Man X? And if so, would they have gone with classic Mega Man over Mega Man X for that reason? And then I'd probably want to go through other things like Persona 5 is probably a special case. But whoever they have as the default in Dragon Quest, I'm a Dragon Quest fan. I'd want to compare that to the other sales of the game, if he's the protagonist and the best selling, how Final Fantasy measures up in sales to the other Final Fantasy 7 measures up to the other games in that series. That's where my brain would go to see who I would pick as the candidate.
I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy 7 sold something obscene, like 15 million copies. God. Yeah, FF7 is humongous. Same for Dragon Quest. If I'm not mistaken, Dragon Quest 11, which is the default hero in Smash, the Luminary from Dragon Quest 11. His game sold like 6 million. So, yeah. So yeah,
anyway, that's where my brain would go with that.
Although, you also mentioned Persona 5. Like, Persona 5 is actually shockingly big. And it's connected to the Shin Megami Tensei series, which is run for decades.
Right.
I think that in addition to just like sales, I think that there's probably a bit of a lineage factor with regards to characters' viability in Smash, because a lot of these characters that we have, they come from very long-running series. Like Final Fantasy's still it was prevalent in the 90s, still prevalent today. The same for basically all of the characters in the game. The only one that that strikes me as a character that's not very well known that's in our DLC lineup was Terry, because Mr. Sakurai had to go through his huge spiel explaining the history of SNK and perhaps Banjo, but Banjo is at least extremely well known amongst the Nintendo community.
Right. And I'd also add in Bayonetta for Smash 4 if we're also going to consider that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go into like some now speculation. I know we said about Chung. Like, I don't know if you know and up to date, all of you, but apparently there was something going around that Chung Li was considered, but it was replaced by Ken. So I know you said you was talked about. How did you get far with it? I don't know.
I went on explaining everything, and I went on to the fact that the only thing that hasn't went through to fruition, if we assume that Chun-Li was replaced with Ken, is the Tales of part, and that's what we were talking about.
Oh, right. Okay.
Real fast, as you catch them up, I'm going to be right back.
Okay. No worries.
Right, so basically, the league's got a lot of stuff weird things wrong that's come true in the long term. The most notable, in my opinion, is Steve, as we know Steve has been in talks for ages and possibly even in works for ages.
Yeah.
And that said, it had a functional model, which, if you assume it was in works for ages, I wouldn't be surprised if I had some animations.
Yeah.
Characters usually need them,
Yeah. I mean, like, what stuff though, was it? It wasn't just that though, but there was other stuff, wasn't there? It was from that leak or what Papagino's covered for it. Well, not a leak, but just speculation. Was it other stuff?
What did you say?
I said, is it other stuff? There was other stuff, wasn't it? It wasn't just like the Chun-Li and Ken. There was other stuff. What though?
No,
It
there
was
was like other stuff. Like it said that they heard Dragon Quest rep would happen, which I wonder if that happened.
Well, there was also that leak that was about where it was like all the characters were predicted, and then the last three were like Rayman, Ryu Hayabusa.
Oh, that leak. Okay, that leak.
Yeah.
Number one, it was in a prediction thread because number one, he could have just got very lucky.
Yeah, I was just going to go through it and what you guys think of it. Oh, did we talk about it last week? I can't actually remember.
I don't think we did. But number two, the rest of the picks are so safe, I just disregard it. If we get something like Rayman or Doomslayer next, then maybe I'll look at it again. But if not, I've just completely written it off already.
Yeah. Welcome back, Ink. By the way, we just about like going back to the Ken and Chun-Li thing, and obviously you led on tales of, which I do believe. I think it might be Lloyd, but then I don't know how you feel about. Actually, that was the other thing I was just about the whole thing that PUBG has talked about, where the Mii costumes seem to have a theme. I don't know if you know about that.
I don't agree with that. You know the thing like Gil has a blue sword, so he came with Steve, and what was the other one?
I have never heard of that. That's
interesting.
He actually goes punch. So he actually come with her.
Yeah, there was. What was it? It was.
Yeah, it's a bit of.
He actually with Min. Who was? Right, who was it? Steve was the blue sword. That was with the, because Steve's got blue diamond sword or whatever you. Aqua or whatever. Gil with returning Mii costume has a blue sword too. And then what was Sephiroth? Sephiroth just came back some Mii costumes, wasn't it? Well, it was just Geno, wasn't it? There wasn't anything with the Mii costumes with him. It's like the Mii costumes had a theme for whatever character it was. So some believe if Lloyd comes back with his katanas, Ryu Hayabusa will be the character with a katana.
I love that kind of speculation. I don't necessarily that's not necessarily super convincing to me. Steve does have a blue sword and a brown sword and a silver sword and a golden sword. But I do think they definitely do try to theme some sort of things. But for me, I love that because it introduces a lot of new characters into the mix that might not otherwise get talked about.
So that was one of the things. I don't know if think about that and what you guys think about that. But also, we're going to try and just talk about it. I don't know how long you've got, Ink, so we'll try and talk about things. If you've got to go, you've got to go. It's completely fine. We understand. But I would like to talk about what you think. Like, what do you think of the DLC? What's been like your favorite DLC of Smash, and what has been like your worst DLC character, and who do you think is going to be the next three if you had to pick?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I'm a very easy to please person in every aspect of my life. So I've been super excited for all of the DLC retroactively. I think that Joker has my favorite reveal. I hadn't played Persona 5 at the time. So I was kind of like, who's this guy? I know my brother was really excited and he's like, all right, you've got to play this game. So I tried it out, and then looking back, they just got so much right with that. I absolutely love that trailer. I think the character's really cool. I don't have too much connection to most of the characters that have been added, honestly. I've never played Dragon Quest. It's something that interests me. Believe it or not, I had played Minecraft for the very first time 5 days before it was released so that I could get footage for a Minecraft video I talked about. Never even touched it before then. So believe it or not, this is going to be really unpopular. One of the characters I was the most excited about was Byleth, because that was actually one of the characters whose game I had actually played.
Same.
Yeah, and it was really cool because I had been playing through the game with my wife. Most of the games I play, I go through with my wife. She's cool like that. But so it was really cool with Byleth because we got to be excited about that together. She was playing Minecraft with me, so we got to be excited about that together. But I've really been pleased with all of them, even if they're not ones that particularly appeal to me. I really appreciate seeing the people that enjoy seeing them in Smash. So there's not a character at all I'm disappointed with. I am kind of disappointed that the chances for INPA in my mind seem to have gone down with this most recent Age of Calamity DLC, but that's not something that's easily provable. But as far as the next 3 characters, that's such an interesting question, because I've really been trying to rework how I'm thinking of likelihood. That's one of the things I'm still working on because of Sephiroth. I realized what I was thinking was likely might not be the case. So I'm trying to figure out a new way. But as far as when you mix sales with fan demand mixed with impact on the video game industry, I think Crash Bandicoot stands a really great chance. I didn't realize how influential he was, but the developers who made his game, they're genius. There's an interview with them. Going back and watching that, I highly, highly recommend it. They talk about how they actually set the disc to hack the PlayStation to double or triple the amount of memory and processing power so that they could get a game unlike anything else on the system.
Wow.
And they went for choices like, I think they put Word the game's entire memory into Crash Bandicoot's face so that he could emote. They wanted it to feel like a Looney Tunes cartoon. Because if you look at Tomb Raider at the time, which came out around the same time and is hugely influential, a great game, it just doesn't have the same sort of emotion or vibrant graphics. So Crash Bandicoot is one that I have a lot of faith in. I don't see too much working against him. Sora is one that has kind of surprised me. The likelihood I'm thinking for him. People shut down that argument really quickly a lot of the time by saying Disney, and that's their entire argument. Which as far as arguments go, I'd like to see a bit more than that. But Disney and Nintendo actually have a long history of working together. I think people have this perception one of 2 ways: either that Sakurai is going to approach the creators of Frozen and try to work out some deal, and it's just so bizarre that anyone would ever try to go to Disney for a gaming thing, or else that Sakurai or Nintendo, whoever negotiates it, is going to go to Disney and try to ask them, and they're going to be sitting on some evil supervillain throne saying, yeah, but it will cost you $1 billion, and they're going to want like micro control over everything. And with their sort of presence in the video game industry, I haven't seen the evidence for that. They've allowed their characters in things like Sonic Racing before, and Sora doesn't even carry the same sort of intellectual property status as some of the characters that they've let cross over before, like Wreck-It Ralph was one, for example. The last thing, or the last character I'd predict, this is a really hard one. I would suspect maybe some sort of other first-party character. I would love if it was Zelda. That's one of my favorite franchises. I'm not sure how likely it is, but I would absolutely be thrilled about that. I'd also really enjoy a Pokemon rep. I know there's a lot of them, but that's a franchise that I always love to see because there's always new generations of people appreciating the most recent Pokemon games. That'd make me happy for them. But as far as a third-party character, if I could choose anyone, like I said, I don't have a super hard prediction for the most likely for the third spot. It would easily be a Mega Man rep. It's one of my favorite series, and I would just love to see someone come from there.
I mean, for a while, I did actually think a Pokemon rep. I don't think as much now because the DLC's come and gone. I guess, yeah, both DLCs released. So I did actually think a Pokemon rep, but I didn't think it would be like the obvious choices. Like people said Rillaboom, Toxicity, and stuff like this. But I actually thought it might be in the legendary Cub Fu. It's basically a Pokemon with a headband that loves fighting. That's definitely, come on.
Yeah, I would love to get another Pokemon trainer. I think people don't talk about this, and I don't want to say that I think it's totally unlikely. Well, I don't want to say it, but I do kind of think it's unlikely, is Giovanni. I think it would be so cool to have him as like a secondary villain Pokemon trainer. That would be a really cool pick.
Yeah,
but I don't know who to take there.
Yeah, I mean, even Brawlfan did someone like Giovanni. Speaking of Brawlfan, before we started as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did I think he did 2. I think he did 2 Pokemon sort of trainers. So one, it was.
He's done multiple Pokemon trainers. He's done stuff like he's done basically Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4. He's done Giovanni, and I believe there are a few others.
Yeah, which was crazy. But this is the thing with that. I really would like him because in World of Light you can. Pokemon Trainer doesn't even have to exist, like in some Spirit Battles. So what I was thinking, why don't they do the thing with Inkling? Inkling, to recharge your Ink, you have to use the Shield and B button. Why can't you do that with Pokemon Trainer? So all Pokemon have 4 attacks, like normal. because they've only got 3 attacks, because obviously down special was to swap them out. I guess they wanted to stay true to the character, but they could have done that and gave him an extra attack, or just have it where you can only just have one instead of just having all 3. Why can't you just have one, like Charizard, just Squirtle, or just Ivysaur? That would have been a good idea. So
on the contrary, or on the opposite side of that, I think people make the assumption if we get another Pokemon trainer, there's only going to be 3 Pokemon, and it's always possible they could give us a full 6, which would be super cool. I would be totally down for that. They'd have to give them, I don't know, some sort of like Monado art changing operation there. But yeah, I'd be down for that.
Yeah,
that would significantly multiply the workload, though.
Well, I mean, Steve and all the stages.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but the thing is,
and I also don't see enough evidence to suggest that would be too much for them.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead, SpaceKing. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It's just that, if I'm not mistaken, is Pokemon Trainer listed as 1 fighter or 3?
3.
So okay, so if it's 3 fighters, that means that Sakurai considers Pokemon Trainer 3 fighters, 3 times the workload. So I don't see us ever getting a full team of 6 Pokemon Trainer, whether it's Giovanni or anyone like that, because it's 6 times the workload of just 1 fighter. Yeah. And I don't expect that. I mean, that would be really cool, and I do admit that if it would be someone like a Giovanni, or for me, I would want Team Galactic's admin Cyrus. I think he's cool, but no, I think that honestly, going forward, I just expect like singular Pokemon for fighters. I don't think that we're gonna return to the format of Pokemon Trainer. I think that was kind of just a one and done sort of thing. Like the opportunity presented itself and it happened.
Right, yeah. I don't necessarily expect that there would be a 6-character Pokemon trainer. I don't necessarily put it past them. It's just not what I would think. But yeah, who knows? I'm down for anything. Like I said, I'm real easy to please.
I mean, it's just what you said. It won't probably happen, but it'd be good to if it did happen, sort of thing.
Yeah, it would be cool.
I mean, go on, Mike. Sorry, you go first.
It's fine. If we get a Pokemon trainer, I feel like the best course of action to take it is to add a rep from each gen that we miss. So Gen 3, Gen 5, and Gen. What was it?
No, it's gonna be Jesse and James, Team Rocket duo.
No, because we haven't represented every generation of Pokemon, so it makes sense to get the 3 Pokemon from those 3 generations.
No, everybody wants Coffin and Ekans.
I've never heard of. I literally forgot.
I actually hear Grovyle a good amount.
Grovyle, yeah.
I mean, I hate to break it to you, but Nintendo would probably promote it with the newest Pokemon. We probably aren't seeing Ekans again for the rest of the time.
I'd just like to point out, with regards to Pokemon Trainer, a cursed memory came up from my childhood. I remembered. I remember when I was playing it, I was sitting around with my friends. We were doing multiplayer on the story mode, and my friend's little brother, who was like 5 or 6, was with us at the time, and we got to the scene where Pokemon Trainer shows up, and he thought it was Ash Ketchum.
Oh, bless him.
I think I probably thought that Red was Ash Ketchum for, I don't know, a good 4 or 5 years. I got Pokemon real young, so I don't blame myself. But yeah,
I mean, I played the old games well, thinking the same. Where's Ash? Oh, this doesn't look like Ash. Or it must be Ash. So
my very first exposure to Pokemon was through an old copy of Pokemon Red from GameStop. I actually think it was Pokemon Fire Red, but it was glitched out to the point that the game could not save. And so I would switch off with my siblings, and we would try to beat it in one go and make sure we always had a charger nearby. I don't think we ever got through it, but I mean, it's a fun memory, and I got a lot of exposure to the first 20 minutes of Pokemon.
That was good. But quickly going to what you said about Pokemon Trainer, I always thought like if we did get like an anime rep, and I was thinking maybe we get like Yu-Gi-Moto from Yu-Gi-Oh, and he could do like the Pokemon Trainer, swap cards out.
Honestly,
I'd love it.
If you get another Konami rep, I honestly, I know how many Bomberman's fans are gonna be hurt by this, but I'd pick Yugi over him.
Yeah, I mean,
same, honestly.
So just all the Bomberman fans are like, so angry with us right now.
I know,
Go for it.
I was going to say, I know we got that what's that new game with all the anime characters in, and he's in that with Goku.
Jump Force.
Jump Force. So I know he's in that, but I'm talking about that Yugi stands in the background like Pokemon Trainer and throws out cards.
That was I never got super into Yu-Gi-Oh growing up, but I think my favorite thing about the show, looking in from the outside, is how drastically different I don't even know the characters, but the main guy's spiky hair. I want to call him Yugi. I don't know, but
Yugi,
then I also know, he has like this super deep alternate personality voice that I just think is so funny.
A growing man lives inside him.
The whole story there is a mess. Basically, he's being possessed by an ancient Egyptian spirit.
Yeah,
when that happens.
Sounds like Japanese anime.
What do you mean? The story's amazing, and like other animes, like One Piece.
That's another one that I've never seen, so I can't fight you back there.
I mean, I haven't even watched it. I'm just trying to annoy the anime community here.
Oh boy! Speaking of anime, speaking of One Piece, I've committed myself to the unholy journey of watching every single episode over the last few months. I'm on we're on season. Go ahead.
Oh, I said I'll check back in 2 decades and see how you're doing.
We're on season 16.
Oh, what?
Going on 17.
What?
I mean, what was I going to say about? I was going to say something. I was like, I always forget. I guess. Oh yeah, I got something, and then I completely forgot one.
Space. How many seasons are there?
Let me pull this up. This is I totally tangential right now.
Oh, Ink, if you ever do an amiibo thing, beat your amiibo, I'll gladly accept your challenge. At one point, you did it because of time zones. I couldn't really pop in to have a go, but
we're working something out in my server right now. Actually, trying to figure out what we're going to do with that.
Well,
20 seasons over 950 episodes.
Oh my goodness.
Well, Ink, all I can say, if you want to verse some amiibo, I've got a whole line of amiibos for people to verse. So if you're interested,
that'd be awesome. Yeah, we're thinking of doing an amiibo tournament, having everyone put it in and having a prize be like a custom amiibo or something. But we'll see how that goes.
Well, I tell you what, even if you wanted to do a tag team, I'm gladly step up. You can choose from any amiibo you want. I've got tons of amiibo here. I've even got a custom amiibo made for me, a custom Robin.
Oh, awesome! That's super cool.
I have to show you one time. But yeah, if you
I've loved getting into it. I've been playing some more games the last few weeks. Something that people would not guess about me, from the fact that I have a gaming YouTube channel and also talk about anime a lot privately in Discord, is I almost never play games or watch TV. Like maybe 30 minutes a week if I'm lucky. I'm just doing other stuff, but I really enjoy them. I just don't have a ton of time for it.
Yeah. Oh, and that's it. I was going to say, I think it was actually your video, about the whole Sora and Disney thing. I think, didn't you do a history of it? It was one of your videos, I think. I'm pretty sure it was, where back in Brawl.
History of Kingdom Hearts, or what?
No, it was like, why can't Sora get in because of Disney? But then you got going back through like Brawl, they've actually got some songs in that called Mickey Mouse in Brawl.
Oh yeah, that's courtesy of Obis Rob in my Discord server. He's been a friend of the channel for a long time. He makes some good content on Sora. But yeah, if you actually go to the Brawl Vault, I don't exactly know what that is, but I know where to find it. They do have a direct reference to Mickey Mouse there. Sorry, what were you
saying? In Game & Watch thing.
Gotcha. Yeah. Anyway, so you can find Mickey Mouse directly mentioned there. It's hard to know what exactly that means as far as Sora goes, but it definitely, I think, sheds some light on the no because Disney argument, which has got to be one of my least favorite arguments in all of Smash.
And you should get him. You should get him here so we can actually give him a proper shout out when he comes here. Because like I've literally just joined your Discord. You should get him in here. You should try and get him if you can. So
he would absolutely love, I believe, to come talk to you about Sora for up to 40 hours. I think is about as much as he could do in one day.
Well, if you do want to send him the link to this, you're more than welcome to get him in the chat if you want. Sorry.
I mean, I don't know. I've heard him go for around 45 hours because I when I first joined Discord, I was a bit toxic. So I think I was trying to take the piss here and just said, and every argument he made against Disney being toxic, I literally just write rip but Sora, but not but Sora, but Disney. And here's my argument now. Disney would want Mickey Mouse in first. We're getting Mickey Mouse in, boys.
Epic Mickey.
Oh, yeah.
He's so okay with that.
Okay. I feel like Sora's a decent shot. I personally feel like people either underrate or overrate his chances because there is always the chance
100%
Nintendo
agreed.
just didn't approach Disney, and I feel like something Sora fans never really account for, personally.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so if I had to give a personal take on Sora, I prefer Wreck-It Ralph, and ironically.
So
That would be great.
In those movies because he said, "Oh, it's Mario," and then there was like some leaks like for Wreck-It Ralph 2, Mario's going to be in it. He never did. I'm like, oh, really? Come on. Spoilers, by the way. Cool. Well, we don't want to talk all about Smash. We try and talk about other stuff, but if you guys want to keep going Smash, I do not mind. I know in the thumbnail we've got Mario, so if you guys are excited for 3D World, is it? Because I haven't really played it, and like Mario going Super Saiyan Cat. If you guys want to talk about that at all quickly,
I forgot that happened.
I'm looking forward to that game.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to Bowser's Fury. It looks like they're finally finding a way to bridge the gap between the power-up based style of Mario and the 3D open exploration type style of Mario, and I'm actually quite looking forward to Bowser's Fury.
Mm.
Yeah,
And I will say that of the Wii U ports, I think that this one's probably, if not the second, maybe the first most significant additions that they've made to the to a Wii U port. Besides maybe Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, like reworking a third of the game with the battle mode. But yeah, I'm actually quite looking forward to Bowser's Fury. I'm definitely excited for it, and I'm looking forward to it so I could, because they added the online play, so I'm gonna definitely take the chance that provides and play through the game with a bunch of my friends online. Especially considering with the human malware going on. So
I can't wait to see it playing online.
more, but I would love to give it a chance.
Just watch. It's gonna be worse than Mario Maker 2's online.
Oh yeah.
I actually don't think so. I feel like I feel like seeing as this was probably in the hands of the 3D Mario team, and considering like they have bleeding edge technology for their development process, and like a world class studio, I don't think they would allow their because it's the 3D Mario team. I don't think they would allow a product that they ship out to be trash. Personally,
3D All Stars.
maybe I'm having too much faith, but I really don't see that playing out that way, because it is the 3D Mario team, like one of the single best developers in the world.
And then who?
Yeah, that's what you think.
And then all their products went into making a cheap collection. They must be proud.
Oh, I actually like that's something I have an unpopular opinion about. Is I actually don't have a single issue with that collection, and I'm very much in the minority there. But I'd love to hear your issues with it, because that's something I haven't been able to hear, like in an actual conversation with someone. So what do you have against that?
I wouldn't have issues. I just don't think it's. I just think it's overpriced for what it is. I feel like they could have added a bit more, like they could have at least added in like a section for concept art, for example. I feel like they should have added more charm in a way. I don't feel like it's bad. I just feel like if it was more like £40, I would have probably been more open to it rather than £60.
Right. That makes sense. Like I get where you're coming from, especially with old games like that. Concept art would be really cool to see. The way I view it, when it comes down to it, it's 3 award-winning games that you're able to play on the go on a new system that you haven't been able to before for $20 each. So I don't have any issue with that, but I could see why someone would be like, I could just play this on Dolphin and add a skin that makes it look way better and all sorts of this other stuff. But me personally, that's kind of where I'm coming from.
I mean, I don't think it's bad. I just feel like if you look at it, it's not as big as people are hoping or as it was hyped up to be. And also I don't really support the idea. I know why Nintendo's given it limited time release, but I don't really support that. But I don't. Either way,
So weird.
I'm a slave to Nintendo, so I bought the game anyway. Day one, I 100%ed Mario 64 like in 3-4 days. So then went through Sunshine, which took like a month, and then went through Galaxy, then went through Galaxy again with Luigi. So I'm totally sane, guys. Trust me.
Yeah.
For my money, I'm fine with 3D All Stars, but I just see some of it as a big missed opportunity. I feel like Super Mario 64 absolutely should have been 1080p at 60 FPS.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people said about that as well. That's
It's
why
still 30 FPS. It's 720p, so they just tripled the resolution instead of matching a full 1080p 16:9 display. And the thing is, we know it's possible because people did that on the PC port that they made, right?
Yeah.
And also, I do see a missed opportunity in the removal, just not committing to removing the motion controls from Mario Galaxy, because it works. It can be done. There's the Chinese version of Mario Galaxy for the NVIDIA Shield, and they literally just mapped the pointer to the second stick. So the way I would just do it is that you just map the camera to the D-pad or directional buttons, and then go ahead and then map the pointer to the other stick, and you basically remove the motion controls entirely, and in my opinion, make it a better game, especially in handheld mode, where honestly, just it's not a very fun experience for me in handheld mode, even though Galaxy is absolutely one of my favorite games, because you have to keep moving your hands from just playing with both your hands on the handheld device, and then move your hand back and forth from the screen to just the resting position constantly. And I'm right-handed, so the stick that you use to move Mario around is the hand that I immediately pick up to then go collect star pointers with on the screen, and I'm moving the back and forth, back and forth. That's uncomfortable.
That makes
They
sense.
should have just mapped it to the other stick.
I haven't personally ever been able to play Mario Galaxy. I just never got it. I'm excited to, but I think the word you use there, missed opportunity, is a great description for it. Like I'm not of the mindset like, screw Nintendo, how dare they, those evil cheapskates, try to sell us this game.
Right.
But more, it's kind of my feelings towards Jump Force that we just mentioned. Actually, it's not how dare you do this, but more, this was our shot, and because this exists, we're not going to get something like this for a good while, and you chose to do it this way. Like there was just so much potential there that I wish they could have executed on it better. I'm not going to hold it against them, but it is disappointing.
I also find it kind of sad that they omitted Super Mario 3D Land. I know that that's not necessarily as loved as the other 3D Mario
I love
games.
Mario 3D Land. Oh, that's
but and I understand why they didn't go all the way and also include 3D World. They're doing the Bowser's Fury expansion, so they couldn't include 3D World with the 3D All Stars and collection, and thus later basically devalue Bowser's Fury. I completely understand that, but I do find it strange that they made the active decision to omit Super Mario 3D Land when it hasn't been released either, and it's approaching a decade's time old. So it's worthy of some celebration, and because it's a 3DS game, and the 3DS shares some technical similarities with the Switch. I don't understand how there couldn't be a port, and it's not like they use the double screen for very much of anything in 3D Land anyways. It's just a power-up screen, which can absolutely be remapped to an alternate function just on the singular screen. So yeah, I think it's just a missed opportunity. Just not to remove the motion controls in Galaxy, not to include 3D Land, not to make Mario 64 60 FPS.
Right.
So, but on the whole, I'm okay with it. I'm positive with it. I like these games. I like that they're being re-released, and I'm even fine with paying $60. I just feel like it could have been so much more.
Yeah, and I get that. What you're saying, though, I think it has a bad assumption behind it, which is that Nintendo would ever do anything that makes sense. Yeah. Anyway, I got to get headed out soon, guys.
That's cool. I'll just quickly do my thoughts then, and then we can.
Yeah, go for it.
So me, there was a leak, and it depends on if you believe. I can't take it with a grain of salt every single time, and even if I don't or do believe it, regardless, I just love talking about it. That's the main thing. There was something that's saying. The 3D collection is coming out. Mario 64 will not. There's going to be nothing changed with it, and so I was thinking, okay, got that bit in the back of my head. So if it does come out, you've got to think that it might not be, upscaled or 1080p or widescreen or anything like this. And to be honest, I don't really mind if it's not, because I grew up with Mario 64, and to have the original would be great. To have any Nintendo 64 game on the Switch is just heaven, because whether or not we get Nintendo 64 online, who knows, in the future down the line, maybe. But to have a Nintendo 64 game that I loved as a kid, to have it on the Switch as you go and play it whenever you want, it's just amazing. Can now play Sunshine, a GameCube game, on the Switch, and can actually complete that game and throw in another game I've never even touched. So that's still good as well. So that's my stance on it. So I knew I just had to prepare myself just in case, because you never know with things of like Nintendo. Sometimes it can be a really good thing. Sometimes it can be a really bad thing. You just got to prepare yourself, and that's what I did just in case. And I was like, I was let down, but still, it's not a big issue. I was expecting just to get that anyway. So, and I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty happy with the price, but it's a shame they're not just getting rid of it by March. So I don't know what's going on with that.
Decision, but yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah, so that's my stance on it. So Bowser Fury in 3D, is it 3D Land or 3D World?
3D World.
3D World.
3D World.
Yeah.
So I must say, SpaceKing, I love how you mentioned Mario 3D Land. One game which I said didn't make the collection, but you never mentioned Galaxy 2, the one that the internet's been crying about.
Yeah, that one's especially egregious, because if they have the emulation tech up and running for Super Mario Galaxy at 1080p at 60 FPS, there's no logical reason that Galaxy 2 wasn't included.
I mean,
I didn't even mention that one because I wanted to point out criticisms that I personally had. Galaxy 2, I love that game. I absolutely agree that it should have been on the collection, but it's just been that's like beating a dead horse, right? Everyone agrees that Galaxy 2 should have been on there. I just felt like, hey, they should have had 3D Land. Hey, Super Mario 64 should have been 60 FPS. They should have removed the motion controls, right?
Can I quickly get my gripe out of the way then? One which hurt me.
Go ahead.
I wanted Mario Galaxy, not Mario Galaxy. I wanted Mario 64 DS.
That's another good one.
Mario
that would have been cool too.
DS, I think, is better than Mario 64, and this is how the internet murdered me.
Well, the thing is that Mario 64 DS on this version would have corrected Mario 64 DS's biggest problem.
Being like Crash 1.
Yeah.
All right, so as I was saying, about 3D World, I've got to put it in the back burner if I either do get it. I'm not going to play it for a while because I've got tons of Mario games to get through anyway. So, but anyway, is there any last minute thoughts before we wrap up this episode, guys? Anything you want to ask Inthinks, or just any general thing before we go?
Anything you guys would like?
You want to be on sometime in the future?
Yeah, sure, that'd be fun.
Okay.
As I said, Amiibo stuff. If you want to set up Amiibo stuff, just hit me up, man. I love anything to do with Amiibo. I'm all over that. So if you want to say versus another strong Amiibo, and if you haven't got an Amiibo, I'll lend you mine. Just send me a Smash area code. I'll bring an Amiibo, and I'd like to verse your Amiibo someday as well. So see if I can beat it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm brand new, so that'd be fun.
Yeah, because what I'm going to try and do is get like another copy of Smash. My wife's got a Switch as well. I'm going to try and do like a tag team using her Switch with 2 Amiibo against the whole arena. So if you ever do that tag team Amiibo arena sort of thing, let me know and I'll bring my Amiibos.
Yeah, that'd be super fun.
Yeah, cool. No, I've got nothing else. I think, we're good to wrap it up. So, guys, if Inkthinks hasn't convinced you already, which I'm pretty sure he has, I think you should go and subscribe to him. Link it to his channel and everything is in the description. And all our links is in the description as well. If you want to check us out for any reason as well.
Yeah, we're not important. Just follow, subscribe to Inkthinks. He's the important one.
Yeah. Exactly. Inkthinks is the important one here. All our guests are important. Us, we're just here. So if you do want to check us out, be our guest. But Inkthinks, definitely go check him out. It said he got high quality thumbnails. He explains himself very well, very clear. I do like the mic you use for it as well. So,
Oh, thank you.
and the content he does is really good. And all I can say is maybe Golden Sun one final look if you haven't done that.
Yes,
Yeah, for sure.
One,
Well, I'm
one
definitely have to hand over to some more stuff. Like I think I'm gonna do Tales of Symphonia. I hadn't thought of that before, so I'll add it to the list.
one more look, definitely. So thank you so much, I said, for joining the podcast today. Hopefully we can get you back in the future. So it'd be good to get you back.
Yeah, great.
Cool.
Thank you so much. Anytime, reach out.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so guys, thank you for joining. Thank you, WAH and SpaceKing, for joining me today as well.
Thank you, Ant, for joining us. No one ever thanks you.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, WAH. and sorry for CJ, you can't be here to have Inkthink's company, because I knew you would really want to be here, but you just got to take breaks every now and then.
Mhm.
All right, guys. Until next time. See you on the next episode. See you next Friday.
Bye, guys.
All right, see you
Bye.
guys.
Bye. Ended where?
1 minute. Just having some issues.